So, hi guys, I'm testing a new setup here. Welcome to the stream. So guys, it is I just came back from holiday and this is the first time I think since about 3 or 4 weeks that I finally have some clear skies. And yeah, as you can see, I am looking at Saturn at the moment. And I hope you can hear me. I hope everything's fine with you. Let me check my stream here. I think audio's on, so that's nice. And let me see. I have a new laptop, so I'm completely lost. I had to reinstall everything. So I'm just checking if it works. And you can see here a wobbly Saturn. And I just wanted to give you a heads up that Saturn is almost in opposition. So yeah, even if you have not this perfect clear sky like I had in the last couple of weeks, I can show you. I have some clouds. Let me see here. Can I go to... No, not that one. I think it's this one. So let me show you. Here are my clouds. Let's refresh in infrared. Let's see if it works. But anyway, you can see it's far from perfect. Sometimes I have a gap in the clouds, like right now. And let's see how it will develop. It's actually not looking very good. Oh. My laptop is very slow. I thought I'd use my laptop to stream today. But maybe that was not a very good idea. Let's see if I can put it up. Yeah, you can at least see the Netherlands now. You can see here, I'm here at the red dot in the Netherlands, here, this part actually. And you can see this large cloud heading my way. So definitely not ideal. But yeah, we can see Saturn here. Super nice. And let me see if I can open the chat. There's something strange going on. Oh, I see what's happening here. So it's 1 o'clock in the Netherlands. Of course, the whole family is asleep. Tuesday night. Here we are. I can see your chat. AstroForum, very nice view. What's the temperature? Well, I think it's about 15 degrees Celsius at the moment. And foggy, a little bit foggy. So I thought I would not have to use any dew heaters. And I have put on my dew cap on my telescope, but still, yeah, it's pretty foggy. So I may need to go upstairs to actually do some cleaning. It's like wiping the telescope mirror. But anyway, Fuffy is here. Hello. So guys, what I wanted to show you is Saturn, obviously, because Saturn is almost in opposition. Let me also show you that part. So yeah, hopefully my laptop is not very fast. But hopefully I can show you this. Let's see, I think you can see it now. So if we look here at the browser, I open up the Sky Live. I really like that website, by the way. And you can see here, this is a picture of our solar system. And let me try to zoom in a little bit. Anyway, I hope you can see it. But here's the Earth and here's Saturn. So in the upcoming 1 or 2 weeks, the Earth will actually be at the closest point exactly between the Sun and Saturn. That will be next week. So this is a very good time. If you have clear skies, it's a very good time to actually image Saturn. Let's see if we can turn a little bit to the right. Oh, this laptop is not streaming very well. Sorry about that. I have to think about alternatives. But anyway, that's something that I've learned. Anyway, can I move this? I'm trying to move the picture. Let's see. It doesn't respond so well. Ah, here we go. Oh, it takes ages to respond. So here's Jupiter. This is what I want to show you. So we have here the Sun, Earth, and Saturn. They are almost lined up, but Jupiter is still a little bit off. So I think Jupiter will be actually at its closest point in November or even December. So anyway, let me go back to the live view here. Oh, and you see here there's another cloud obscuring Saturn. So let me try and fix that for you. Let me show you a little bit more gain. And yeah, actually that's it. I just wanted to show you this live image of Saturn, and it's, I think it is now, the view is a lot better as compared to looking at Saturn at other like at other dates, other months of the year, because it's so close to Earth right now. It appears a little bit larger in your telescope, and if you want to take images, of course you need clear skies, as I'm struggling right now, because there are some clouds, as you can see. Saturn is wobbling, but you can clearly see the rings of Saturn at least. So yeah, let me check up. This is of course totally, here we go. You see Saturn getting brighter, so that means that the cloud is moving away again, and that's what I have to deal with. So now I can of course limit the exposure time. I prefer about 20 milliseconds for Saturn and about 300 for the gain. And then yeah, I'm in sharp cap, as you can see, so I take 1.5 minute videos of Saturn, and then I will try to process that later on. Let's see, if there are 24 people awake, that's nice. Doc, hi from Leiden, that's the Netherlands, looks great. Which camera are you using? Yeah, oh, here we go, it doesn't look so great now. Anyway, the ASI 678. So that's a planetary camera, it's a relatively cheap camera. And I use that in combination with my Celestron Edge HD 8-inch. And the nice thing about, oh, here we go, you see a lot of variation here. That's not good for a video actually. I will stop the capture. Let's adjust to 250 maybe, or maybe limit the exposure time. That may be even better. So let me redo that capture. Hopefully I get 1.5 minutes of clear sky, and then that's all you need to take a video actually. So I am using my Edge HD, and the beautiful thing about the ASI 678 is that it's a color camera, but that's not the beautiful part. The beautiful part is that the pixel size of the 678 is 2 microns. So I have an f10 telescope, and I have a 0.2 micron sensor size, like pixel size of this sensor, and that combination is ideal for actually getting this view of Saturn. So this is about the best resolution I can get with an 8-inch telescope. Of course, if you have an 11-inch or even, God forbid, a 14-inch, you will have a much nicer view. But yeah, I can show you this. I'm happy with it now. And yeah, I will of course use auto staggered, so I'm taking like 60 frames per second at the moment. 1.5 minutes, so 90 times 60. Can I do the math? It's 5,400 frames, more or less, about 5,000 frames. And you can process each of these pictures in auto staggered, and then select the highest quality frames and stack those frames together. and you can do some post-processing as well. And then you will get a nice final image of Saturn. So that's basically what I'm trying to achieve here. Where are you in the world? Yeah, I'm in Utrecht. I should have put up some info when I started this stream, but it was just, I thought I have Saturn in the field of view, so I will just press stream and let's see how it goes. But I'm currently here in the Netherlands. That's Utrecht, the Netherlands, close to Amsterdam. That's Western Europe. And with some dodgy skies, but still we have some clear skies. "100 degrees where you are." Okay. I just imaged Saturn last night. Seeing was not ideal, no. I can relate, because if you can see it here, the seeing is not perfect. You see Saturn wobbling in the night sky, but I know that, yeah, I'm a little bit hesitant to show you anything else on this laptop, because it is so freaking slow. But anyway, let me just check. I think Saturn will reach like its highest point in the sky. So there are a couple of things you want to take into account when doing planetary imaging. First of all, it would be nice to have completely clear skies, of course. I don't have that at the moment. I have some clouds, but I was dying to do actually some deep sky astrophotography, but we have some clouds. So that's why I decided to do planetary, because planetary you need maybe you can just get lucky. So you only need maybe a couple of minutes of clear skies without any clouds, not a lot of, hopefully not so much turbulence in the sky. And when you're lucky, you end up with a very nice like video, a 1 or 2 minute video of Saturn. And yeah, you can process those high quality frames and come up with a decent picture. And what also matters is how high Saturn is in the night sky. So I'm actually checking now when Saturn will reach its highest point tonight. I think it's about 2 o'clock. Let me check. Where's Saturn? So I'm using Stellarium, by the way. It's a nice app on your phone. It's not. Did not reach the highest point yet. Let me check. So it will reach its highest point in about 1 hour. So, and I just mean like the angle you see Saturn. So the higher it is up in the sky, the less turbulence you will see, because you're shooting through less air basically. So you will, if you look directly ahead, like directly straight up from where you are, you will see that those stars are a little bit brighter as compared to the stars that are closer on the horizon. They are twinkling more. So the best time to actually do some photographing and videoing of Saturn or the other planets will be when the planets are highest in the night sky. And that will be in about 1 hour, I see. So don't know if I'm still awake then. 14 degrees in NY. Let's look at your chat. Oh yeah, an atmospheric dispersion. No, I never use those. But I do have a UV cut filter in front. So I'm actually experimenting a little bit with different kinds of setups and filters. To be honest, with an 8-inch Celestron 8-inch telescope, this is about the best I can get. Regardless of the filter used. Doug has bought an ASI 678. That's nice. It's apparently low noise. Yeah, the camera has this. What is it? I forgot a little bit, but it has this gain control when you are like imaging beyond 200 gain, and that's often the case. I'm now at 300 gain for this video here. Can you see it, by the way? Yeah, you can still see it. Then the camera has some like a gain control. I don't know exactly the name, I can't remember it, but actually it tries not to produce this very grainy picture. As you can see, it's still relatively smooth, not super smooth, but relatively smooth. And that actually helps you to get a smooth image in the end when you're processing the video. So that's nice, yeah. It's like H high gain something, high gain control or something like that. I also use the ASI 678MC with my 10-inch untracked Dobsonian. So you have already 2 inches more than I have, like 5 centimeters more, that's nice. So you probably get even a bigger picture. You have to note here that I'm zoomed in all the way. So my capturing area that I'm showing to you right now is 640 by 480, so about 500 by 500 pixels. And even then, so I only have the center here showing Saturn. So I think I have about, a wild guess here, about 200 pixels of Saturn. Let's see. Histogram was about 30%, gain at 280. Yeah, 15 milliseconds gain. Yeah, I am close to that actually. Who is this? Fuffy. So right now I'm at 15 milliseconds gain as well, and gain of exposure 15 milliseconds, and gain is at 300. So yeah, exactly. So here you see about 50% here now in the histogram. Can you see that? I don't think so. My head is in front of the histogram. Here, this is the histogram, so it's about halfway lit. Yeah, it's also a bit of a like a trade-off. If you put it to here, let me start capturing again, by the way. So if you have a little bit of a higher gain, of course you will have a higher frame rate per second. So that allows you to capture more frames, but the frames you will capture are a little bit grainier as compared to a lower gain setting and a somewhat higher exposure time. But yeah, you can just experiment. I think like about 20 milliseconds, 15 to 20 milliseconds and 250 to 300 gain is a nice way to start imaging Saturn. High conversion gain, that's it. High conversion gain. Oh, boss was all set up, but the forecast was wrong. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, I have been looking at Cloud Radar for weeks now. And I think I'm here, I'm back in the Netherlands for about 1.5 weeks, and we didn't have one clear sky yet. So I was a little bit desperate. I thought, yeah, let's just go out there tonight and let's just try and image Saturn now, although the weather conditions are not perfect. It gives me something to do, and also it is nice actually to, when you're back from a holiday or a long period where you did not do any astrophotography or planetary imaging, I always like it when you know, you have the first time you set up again, like your equatorial mount and your telescope, you put it up on, and it also you tiny little things you sometimes you forget. So for instance, I am now using a Skywatcher equatorial mount, Skywatcher EQ6R Pro, and I also have a harmonic drive mount, the ZWO AM5, but of course with the EQ6, I have to attach counterweights, and I almost forgot that. So I almost didn't balance the telescope because I'm getting used to using a harmonic drive mount, which doesn't necessarily require counterweights. So anyway, it was a little bit stupid. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, what we can also do is to give you a wider field of view. So I have a couple of Saturn pictures. So let me give you 3000 by 2000 pixel view here. So you see here, so this 3000 by 2000, you see Saturn appearing very small now. Can you see it? Let's see. Very small in the sky, but what I always like about this is when I'm actually, let's up it to like, I don't know, let's try half a second or something. Oh, what's it doing? 500. Yes, you can see it starts to show 1 second. Now you probably will notice the moons around Saturn, maybe 2 seconds even. You can see them. Let me zoom in. Maybe HD 1920 by 1080. So you can see here a couple of moons. I don't know all of them, but I do know that the brightest one, so that's the one below Saturn, that's definitely Titan. That's one of the biggest moons in our solar system. So that's also pretty cool to... So when you up the gain and the exposure time, especially I'm now at 2 seconds exposure, and then you can see the moons, they are a little bit dimmer. Yeah, of course, they are a little bit dimmer as compared to Saturn in the night sky. So you need to up the gain. And what you can then do, you can take a couple of images of the moons. So let me just take a quick picture here. And of course, then when you have a processed picture of Saturn, you can put the two together. You can put the moons in your picture and Saturn, a nice processed picture of Saturn. You blend them together and you can show that little dynamic moon Saturn system. I think a single frame will do, or maybe a number of frames. Let's take about 5 pictures or something. Ah, it doesn't want to do it. 5. Start. So taking 5 pictures here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's now, wait. Let's put that in PNG. Let's do that once again. PNG or TIFF or FITS. I'll put TIFF. Okay, 5 pictures of the moons. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. That's it. Okay. And now let's go back to like 20 milliseconds. Now we can see Saturn again, but not the moons. So let me zoom in again. We are back where we came from. Let's enlarge this picture so you can enjoy it. To 50 maybe even. Here. GIF. PNG. TIFF. So, oh, you're kind of on the fence about what I should use. There's no RAW. Yeah, there's also a RAW setting, I think. Anyway. I think for planets, yeah. Of course, when you use your DSLR, it's best to shoot in RAW always. I think for deep sky astrophotography, I almost always use FITS. I think that's the standard, right? When you use a deep sky astrophotography camera. For planets, I don't know. I usually take videos in SER format. So if I'm going to process a video of a planet, I'm using SCR actually to capture it. So let me move back actually to SCR. I've been told that that produces a higher quality video as compared to AVI. Actually, I did some experimenting. I do not see a lot of difference, but I'm always capturing videos in SCR. So you see it now. Maybe my telescope is fogging up a little bit now. I'm not sure. It can also be a cloud. Color not as much. I don't know what you mean. Do you want a raw image? We can do mono as well. This is mono. What is this? Ah, that's true. Yeah, the hazy sky is making the green come through. Yeah. That would definitely be, but that's something we can correct in post-processing, right? So guys, I think I'm going to check my telescope, see if it's fogging up or whether it's clouds. I will be back in a minute. Oh. Yeah, the telescope is fine, so that's actually fog. Oh, it's actually clouds. Let's see. Maybe we should capture in mono. Let's see what that brings me. Let's do some experimenting. Lower the gain a bit. Maybe a little bit higher. Exposure. A frames per second drop when I do that. Let's put it in the middle. Okay. Okay. Let's capture this. Let's see what I get in post-processing. Nope. The 1.5 time limit. Here we go. Here we go. Saturn in mono. So more questions. Let's see. Up the red and blue. Yeah, I can also manipulate the histogram. Yeah, that's also something I could do. But I'm controlling my, I have a little PC on the base of my telescope mount. I'm controlling it via my laptop and it's a little bit laggy. So I can try to maybe manipulate the color, but given the fact that it's not responding very well, I don't know how successful I will be. PhD 2. I'm actually, yeah, of course, deep sky astrophotography I always guide, but when I do these short video captures of planets, I'm not guiding at the moment. And I did polar line my telescope. But polar aligning with a planetary camera is pretty tricky. So I did actually use my guide scope. It is plugged in, so I used my guide scope on my Edge HD to actually polar align the telescope mount. And so this is just tracking without guiding. And it's going pretty well. I can make it, like if I have to take a couple of minutes of a video of a couple of minutes, it will stay in the field of view. And of course you can always use like pip afterwards to really put Saturn in the center before processing it in AutoStacker. So that's what I usually do. Sometimes I guide as well, but yeah, not tonight. Let's see. Yeah. Let's put it back in the center. Yeah, it's not super great. Let's see. So, okay, let's go back to that color image again. So, yeah, it's on the green side. But the histogram can be manipulated, maybe. Yeah, you can clearly see it. Can I pop it out, this thing? Ah. Nah. So I don't know exactly. This is very small. Where should I click? Oops. So anyway, I'll save that for a later date. I think maybe I can do it here. Tools. Histogram. Maybe get a bigger one here. Okay, so, whoa. But can I then manipulate it? I wouldn't know exactly how to. Ah. I will check it out later. Let's see. Works with the belts on Jupiter. Perry is going to install Deep Sky Stacker. 16 or 32 bits. Is that the only option you have? Then I would go for 32. OBS Studio. Is it possible to use OBS Studio to capture from a dedicated Astro camera? I don't think so. Yeah, maybe you can. I mean, I have a PC in between the two, so I'm actually using OBS from my laptop here, and I'm streaming the image I get from my mini PC at the base of the telescope mount. But I guess when you would like play, yeah, you need, I think, yeah, you need some kind of capturing software as well. So you can, of course, I think, install SharpCap or something. I don't think that OBS will recognize ZWO cameras. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a plugin. What are you trying to do, Marco? I'm looking at Saturn actually. Or actually, this is a camera inside the telescope and it's aimed at Saturn. So, and I'm trying to capture 1.5 minute video so I can process it into a picture. That's what we are doing. Nelson, hello. I hope you're fine. Thank you, Nelson. I hope you're fine as well. And Doug, when you stack videos of Saturn in AutoStacker, is there an AP size you use? I'm never sure how to get a best resolution. Yeah, I think because I'm capturing only 200 pixels. Well, the biggest issue or the biggest thing you need to remember is that when you use those squares, I think you're talking about. How do you call them? Yeah, the AP size. Oh yeah, the alignment points. That's it. So the alignment points, they need to be able to distinguish different features on, for instance, on the surface of a planet, or in case of Saturn, it's the rings, I think, and mainly the edge of the planet itself. So I would not go. Maybe I would just use like 25 alignment point size to actually be sure to get the edges of the rings, the edges of the planet, and then maybe also here the ring in front of Saturn. I would click on that because those are distinct features that AutoStacker is able to recognize. But then still, it's a little bit trial and error. I would say just use different AP sizes and see how well your videos are processed. So if you want to reach out and talk a little bit more about, of course you can check out my channel. I have done some concise videos on like tips to capture the planets, and also some post-processing tips in AutoStacker and Registax. I have a couple of videos about post-processing planets on my YouTube channel, so you're welcome to check them out. They're free. And yeah, if you want to get in touch, I have an email, like astroforumlive@gmail.com. Punt is Dutch. So, and you can also look at my website, astroforumspace.com. That's my website, and you can also find a contact form to, if you have some questions or want to get in touch, then by all means. I will put on that kind of info in the next live stream. Lower the gain. Oh, Marco. But yeah, adjusting the color balance is not working out for me on my laptop. I'm trying, but oh, that's interesting. It's a negative Saturn. So you can see the ring in front as well. Where can I put here? Planet disk stabilization. I can put that on. So now it will try to keep Saturn in the center, right? But then I don't know if it's veering off the side. So okay, we have background subtraction. I don't have anything set actually. Gradient removal doesn't do much. Here we have satellite trails. Nah, we don't have them at the moment. So yeah, I don't really see where I can just adjust I have to adjust then the green. Is there some kind of auto balancing method in AutoStacker that I'm unaware of? Here's temperature. I can play around with that. Oh, here, high speed mode. I can put that on. Let's see if that makes a difference. Yeah, not really. Hardware binning. No, I don't do that. Here we have brightness. Yeah. It's under image panel. Okay. Image panel. Image panel. Capture. Image controls. Okay, you can auto white balance it. That's better for live stream, thanks. Should I put them both on? I guess. So that's nice. So a little bit less white, or less green, I have to say. So can I put this off? So what is the second one? The second one is blue, I think, and the first one is red. RB. White balance R, white balance B. Yeah, it's actually now attempting to control the wavelengths. So thanks for the tip. Let's do another capture. Oh, let's see. Hi, Wido. Hi, Eric. Eric Van Zandt. On the right. Yeah, that's closer to what it's supposed to be. If only we didn't have clouds. But yeah, as I said, just the perfect time to image Saturn at the moment. It's almost in opposition. What is the exact date? I think it's somewhere next week, right? Can you still see Saturn? Yeah. So it's almost in opposition. Let's check it out. Turn 2023 is August 27. So in about 10 days, we will have the closest approach, or the closest approach between Earth and Saturn for 2023. So this is a very good time to just look at those beautiful rings. Although the seeing tonight is not perfect. August 27, yes, Doc, you're fully prepared. If you use the 3 alignment points near one of each other, yeah, they can overlap a little bit, Nelson. You put near one of each other and use another one as usual. Yeah, you can do different things. You can do overlapping alignment points in AutoStaggered, and you can also have like this hierarchy of smaller and bigger alignment points integrated in one picture. And I would say I would recommend experimenting with that. But I know that you need to, oh, that's probably clouds. You need to experiment a little bit to see what works best. And I cannot say that I uniformly have one method that always produces the best results. So sometimes like this hierarchy of smaller and bigger alignment points works best, and sometimes it's just big alignment points. So yeah, it's a bit tricky. It's a bit, I would say, play with your data and see what comes out of it. Ooh. Yeah, some serious clouds now. Can you capture true colors of a planet with any telescope, or is that not possible? Well, this is just a color camera. So as far as I know, these are just the colors of the planet as you see them as we receive them on Earth. So of course you have a lot of wobbling going on. And like mentioned before in the stream, the clouds, they do mess up the picture. So when there are clouds, apparently it's a little bit on the green side, which you can adjust by putting these image controls on. So basically this is a true color picture of Saturn as it is now in the night sky, as far as I know. So I'm not using any additional filters or anything. So this is just a CMOS, like a CMOS camera with a Bayer matrix in front of it. So like a regular DSLR camera. Oh, let's see. Objective lens 4" or greater. The colors are vibrant. Okay, I don't know about that one. Which telescopes and mounts are you using? Oh, so this is I'm using an 8" aperture telescope, the Celestron Edge HD 8", because that was the one that I could still afford. And I bought the Edge HD because you can also do some decent. Let's try to improve the image. So the Edge HD, you can also do some decent deep sky astrophotography with that. Using a relatively long focal length. It has like, with a 0.7 reducer, you can turn it into like a 1400 and, what's it like, almost a 1500 millimeter focal length f7 telescope. And that allows you to zoom in on like the smaller nebulas in our own Milky Way that are in the night sky, and also do some decent galaxy imaging. So galaxies that are like relatively big, like Pinwheel, Whirlpool. If you use 1500 millimeters of focal length, you will get them nicely in the field of view with most of the astro cameras that are available, the deep sky astro cameras. Oh, now we are getting funky here. Definitely lots of clouds. Venus looks brown. Yeah, it should look brownish. Ah, Tessa, yeah. It is of course true that in post-processing people can just do about anything. So if they want a purple Saturn, you can just color Saturn purple if you want in any kind of post-processing program. So, and this is actually just a video. This is a live video feed from my camera that is inside my telescope. But still, we are manipulating the colors a little bit, because I actually got some comments on the fact that it was too green. I think it was the red here. So you can see here. So it's actually trying to balance out these, like the color differences that are there because of the clouds. But yeah, you can play around with it a lot, I guess. So this turns into yellow, yeah. So yeah, you can do that in post-processing as well. So yeah. I will put them on auto. So okay, almost 2 o'clock. I have a Skywatcher 150-750 Mac. Okay. What would be best for Saturn imaging? Well, Citroman, I would use your Mac. I mean, a Mac Sutov, it has like this long focal length, right? And you have probably an f15 or something like that, if I'm calculating that correctly. So I would go for the Mac in combination with an ASI, like a camera, just a planetary camera, color camera. And I have to say that, I'm using like 200 millimeters at the moment. So Saturn will appear a little bit like a very small, tiny planet in your Mac, but you can of course try to use a Barlow lens. So 2 times Barlow lens will give you a bigger picture of Saturn, but then of course you're still limited to the resolution of 127 millimeters in your aperture. So, but yeah, as you can see, like a good quality image, it depends on a lot of factors. Like it's also the seeing conditions, and it's also, whoa, the quality of the telescope. And clouds are definitely a big part of it. So yeah, it's a little bit of trial and error with planetary imaging. The nice thing about planetary imaging is that you don't have to spend, oh, Saturn's gone, have to spend like hours and hours or even multiple nights, like in deep sky astrophotography, to get an image, to get a good view and a picture of a planet. So that's pretty nice. And what I also like, and it's especially with, oh, here we go. So yeah, I have to up the gain a lot just to see Saturn now. Let's see. Here we have the clouds. Yeah, anyway. Oh, here we go again. It's getting brighter. So anyway, what I also like about planetary imaging is when you have a good clear night, you can see surface details, especially when you're tracking Jupiter or Mars. And you can actually make a time lapse of the rotation of those planets. So you see like different surface details. It's just it's rotating, and you see different cloud bands on Jupiter, for instance. Sometimes you see a Jupiter moon passing in front of the planet. So that's super nice to do. And bear in mind, Jupiter has a rotation time of about 10 hours. Oh, Saturn, you're not going to leave me, right? So about 10 hours. Oh, the clouds. So when you spend a couple of hours, like taking videos of Jupiter, you can have a nice, like, couple of second rotation where you can see the different cloud bands and the moons passing in front of Jupiter. That's very nice. And you see also the red spot moving, those kind of things. And with Mars, you can also see different surface features, and like the volcanoes, Olympus Mons, you can see it with like a consumer telescope. It is possible to see a couple of volcanoes on the surface of Mars, so that's super nice. But for Mars, we have to wait until next year. Because right now it's really on the other side of the orbit. We are on the other side of the orbit as compared to Mars. So 2024 will be another alignment, I guess, or close approach. No, I'm getting sleepy. Opposition, I have to say. Opposition. So the best time to image planets is when they are in opposition, which is that the Earth is it's actually on its closest point towards that planet. So we have the Sun, then we have the Earth, and then in a straight line you will have the planet. Yeah, there are two planets now, yeah. Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter is also up. We could check that out, but I was planning on staying with Saturn tonight. What camera are you using? The ASI 678. I have to put some information in my next live stream about my setup, so people can just read it. So guys, the views are getting a little bit worse, unfortunately. Let me check out the clouds here. What do you think about this negative? It's a bit weird, right? Yeah. The clouds are rolling in again. I need to up the gain a lot. Tessa, this is definitely Saturn. You can see the rings. You can see a ring on the left and the right. It's like, what is it like? Like a skip. Like we had these Lolo balls in the 80s. You know, there was this ball in the middle, and then two sides you could put your feet on, and you could jump around. That's Saturn. Oh, it's getting brighter again. Crazy weather. So yeah, guys, the views are unfortunately getting worse. Let me check out the weather. Yeah. Let me refresh. Nah. It's not really getting better, fortunately. So it's now 2 o'clock. Yeah. It's difficult to see on this radar. Here, I can show you. So this is the image I'm getting. So I'm here, actually, in Utrecht. So that's the Netherlands. And you see, yeah, it's not great in Western Europe. Loads of clouds above Germany. In the middle, it's okay, actually. So this is Belgium, France, Belgium, the Netherlands. And I was hoping for this clear patch, but it seems like the clouds won. Again. They have been winning for the past month. So, yeah. Might call it a night if these clouds are continuing to be here. Don't have any view of Saturn anymore. Here we go. So when the view is changing so much, then it's also very difficult to get a good picture of a planet. Of course. But still nice to see the live view, right? Erik is going to sleep. Good night. Eric, nice of you to join. Saturn has ice rings, yes. Oh, you mean when you look out of the window, Tessa? So actually, the brightest one is always Jupiter. So Jupiter is way brighter than Saturn. So if you see this very bright dot in the night sky, it's, I think now they're both planets. I think Saturn at this particular moment for me, like at midnight, let's say at midnight, Saturn should be somewhere in the southeast when you are in the, what is it? In the northern hemisphere. And Jupiter will be farther to the east and it will be brighter. And so that's the way you can spot them with the naked eye. So the brightest one is Jupiter. It will be a little bit further towards the east. As you can see in the picture here, let me show you. Hopefully I can show it to you. Oh, I didn't actually move back to the image, sorry. So this is the image of Saturn again. Good night. Oh, in Antwerp, it's only clouds. We're not far from Antwerp. couple of 200 kilometers, I think. So we still have here. It's coming back. The view is coming back. That's great. Yeah, let me do another attempt. Yeah, I'm hopeful. Let's put the exposure back to 25. The gain 275 maybe. Hopefully it will get a little bit brighter still. Let's put it in the center here. Nah, it's not perfect. But anyway, let's do another capture. I think I got the best ones early on in the evening. So that's strange how this goes, because normally you would say, hey, if a planet is low on the horizon, you should wait a little bit until it reaches its highest point in the night sky. But you're also dependent on clouds and weather conditions. So sometimes the highest point in the sky is not the best time to image a planet during a particular night. It depends on many factors, actually. You need to have a little bit of luck. You need to be lucky to get a good quality image of a planet in the end. It's a little bit like rolling the dice or playing in a casino, I think. I've noticed people using multiple stacking software. Yeah. Is that because of what you are stacking? Yeah, vary a little bit. AutoStackered is mostly used for planetary imaging and moon imaging to process these videos you have of the planets and sometimes also the moon. Although AutoStackered can also do some deep sky astrophotography stacking. I tried it and it does work. But usually people use AutoStackered for planets and moon videos because it has a planetary mode and also a surface mode. When you have highly detailed surface images of the moon, you can also use AutoStackered. And Deep Sky Stacker is definitely for, it's in the name, for deep sky images. So Deep Sky Stacker is actually only used, I would say, for deep sky astrophotography images. And of course, lately I've been moving on to PixInsight for the past 2 years, I think, or 3 years even. Because that is just, I think, as far as astrophotography processing software goes, PixInsight is the best program at the moment. Not the most user-friendly program, not by a long shot, but it gives me the best processed pictures. And there are many other options. So let me know if what kind of software are you using. Tessa. I'm positive. I'm looking at Jupiter. Yeah. Glad to be of help. And Nelson says Uranus will not be in opposition soon. Yeah, but also, I think when you want to look at planets through a telescope, then basically you're kind of limited to, like, it's nice to look at Venus, our neighbor. It has the same size as Earth and it's relatively close, but of course Venus will always be in the evening sky or in the morning sky, because it's one of the inner planets. It will never be out like at night, like from 12 o'clock till 3 or something. But anyway, so Venus is nice because it has different phases like the moon. So you can look at Venus, and because it's like in an angle from the sun and we don't see the whole planet, we see sometimes like a little disk of the planet, and it can vary in size. So that's interesting to look at the different phases Venus goes through. And then we have, of course, Mars. And Mars is actually orbiting the sun every, I don't know, 2 years basically, and we are orbiting the sun every 1 year. So once every 2 years, we are in a close proximity to Mars from Earth, and that's the best time to image Mars. And of course, Mars is cool because you can see the different surface features on Mars. If you have a good telescope, you need a big aperture, long focal length telescope. And then, of course, yeah, Jupiter is actually my favorite, I would say, because it has these beautiful cloud bands you can see. And you have the red spot, of course, moving across the surface of Jupiter, and you have the moons passing in front of Jupiter. So I would say, as far as planets goes, Jupiter is the most dynamic one. It also has this dynamic Galilean moon system. You can also do a time lapse to see the moons move across like across the surface of in front of Jupiter basically, and behind Jupiter you can see these moons circling around the planet. And of course, yes, Saturn with its rings, but then we need a little bit better seeing conditions than we have now, but still we can see Saturn. Anyway, it's a lot of fun, planetary imaging. And what I also like about planetary imaging is that you don't need a super expensive camera. So you need a planetary camera basically, which are only maybe a couple of $100. It doesn't break the bank to do some planetary imaging with a planetary camera. Anyway, I'm babbling a little bit because it's 2 o'clock at night. The weather in the Netherlands is indeed very tricky. Always clouds in the sky when you don't want to. I missed the super. Yeah, we missed the supermoon. I was on holiday anyway, but Tessa, we do have another supermoon coming up, and that is in, I think, the end of August, like the 30th or the 31st of August. We will have a supermoon. So hopefully we will have some clear skies finally in the Netherlands. And I have to say that there is a lot of hype about the supermoon, but I just checked like how big the difference is between like a moon that is on its farthest position from Earth as compared to a moon that is closest to Earth. So the moon varies a bit in its distance to Earth, depending on the month we are in. But anyway, that difference is about 13%, if I'm correct. So, and I would say that is even hard to spot with the naked eye. If you use a telescope, maybe you will notice it, that you have like a 10 to 13% larger moon as compared to a normal moon. But it's not like a major difference, because you see a lot of these pictures online when it's a supermoon with this full moon right in your face, for instance, behind a building or a church tower or some bridge, and you think, wow, this moon is super big. But what you don't realize is that a lot of photographers, including myself, by the way, we use tele lenses. So if you have like a 400 millimeter tele lens and you zoom in all the way, or maybe even a 600 or a 700 millimeter focal length lens, of course you can make the moon like appear very large in your field of view. And if you have something in front of it, like a building in the distance, you can really play with these like apparent sizes. The moon isn't actually that big, but when you use a telezoom lens, you can really make this big shot of the moon, and then with a part of a building in front, of maybe a tree in the distance in front, and that gives that spectacular photo, but you will not see it in real life. Yeah, Nelson, that's fine. I mean, not everybody wants to go through the whole. Like I have spent a half an hour setting up my telescope and my mount, and then I had to test the software I'm using now, and all that stuff. And sometimes it's also just nice to just go outside and enjoy the night sky with with the naked eye, right? So you can use Stellarium. That's a very nice app when you're just starting to develop like an interest for the night sky. I would definitely not say, hey, buy a telescope and a mount and a camera right away. Just try to learn like the different constellations and the different planets in the night sky um, throughout the year, and try to identify them. That's already nice to do. And when you want to take a closer look, you can of course maybe first get some binoculars. So 7x50 binoculars, you can use them. You will still not see like this view of Saturn, but you will see, for instance, Jupiter and Saturn and some of the moons that are circling around those planets, and that's already nice to see. And you can also spot some very interesting, like we have our neighboring galaxy, the Andromeda galaxy. It's like 2 million light years away, if I'm correct. But still, because it is so super large and bright, you can still see it through binoculars. So you can do a lot of fun things, and also, of course, we have these meteor showers. We just had the Perseids meteor shower. It was like 2 days ago, this weekend. But unfortunately, again in the Netherlands, we didn't have any clear skies, or at least not in Utrecht. So I missed the meteor shower, but there are several meteor showers throughout the year. So that's also a lot of fun to just see shooting stars in the night sky. Anyway. I hated being alone and run away from wild boars. Yeah, Nelson, that's also... Yeah, I'm actually doing this from the comfort of my house. The telescope is on a balcony in my house. So yeah, that's also I also use my telescope when I was out in the wild, and it's also a little bit you always have a little bit of anxiety, like are some people will some people come along and just take your telescope, or is there some wildlife in the neighborhood? I know I was in like Romania, and I did some imaging just with my DSLR camera, and then all of a sudden I heard some noise. And yeah, it was definitely an animal. And then the next day I asked like the owners of the house where we were staying, and I said, yeah, is there any kind of wildlife here in the neighborhood? And they mentioned brown bears being very active in their neighborhood. So anyway, most of the time it goes well. And also, I did set up, it was one holiday, I set up my telescope mount and my telescope to do some deep sky imaging. So I just put that in like, how do you call that? A meadow, I think. Is it meadow? Let me check. Wei. Translate. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, it was basically like a grassland. Is that it? Anyway, I thought it was just like an open field with like a grassland, open field with grass. And I was setting up my telescope and my telescope mount. I put everything in place, and it was semi-automatic. So at one point, my telescope was taking images, and I decided to go inside and get some sleep. And the next morning, I actually noticed that I had set up my telescope in, like, how do you call that? like a horse farm. So there were a lot of people, a lot of horses, like 7 or 8 horses were like walking around my telescope mount and telescope. So when you go out on holiday, you never know where you should definitely check out the neighborhood and think about where you want to set up your telescope and telescope mount. Thank God they were not touching it and everything was okay. But also had a little talk with the owner. I had to explain why I had set up my telescope there. But anyway, we got into a nice conversation about astronomy actually. Uh, so the Scott from Australia, hello. So you're already drinking your morning coffee, I think. We are looking at Saturn, but I'm hoping to get an improved view, but it's still a little bit wobbly. Anyway, I'm going to quickly check up on my telescope because maybe there's some dew on my telescope. I don't think so. I think this is clouds, but going to check it out anyway. We'll be right back. Yeah, clouds. Let's. $50 maybe. Yeah, it's still a bit shaky. Let's do another capture. All right. Nelson, you need to go. I will post the results, Nelson. I will post a picture, hopefully somewhere this week. So if you subscribe, I have a community tab. I don't know if you always see my pictures I post there. So on my channel, I try to post like regular updates. That can be maybe a picture I processed, but also updates on astronomy and astrophotography, like astronomy events that are coming up, like the Saturn that's in opposition, or the Perseids meteor shower, or a supermoon, that kind of stuff. And I also regularly, of course, post information about how to engage in astrophotography in all kinds of different ways. Like you can do astrophotography with a regular DSLR camera already, do some wide field imaging. You can look at the planets, image the planets. So you can do visual observations, imaging of our solar system. Of course, that would include the planets, but also sometimes we have interesting comets that fly past Earth, and they have a beautiful comet tail. You can also capture comets in the night sky, and the sun. You can even capture the sun. You need to be careful. Never look directly at the sun, but you can do some solar imaging using the appropriate filters needed to do some solar imaging. Pretty spectacular as well. And of course, then we have deep sky astrophotography, which mainly involves taking long exposure pictures of objects that are outside our solar system. And a lot of people image nebulas, like the regions where stars are born, basically. So they are very huge, they are large, and you can capture them with a deep sky astrophotography camera and a telescope. And then there are, of course, also other galaxies outside of our solar system. So it's actually a pretty diverse. So when people talk about astrophotography, I always have to ask them, what kind of astrophotography are you doing? So that also keeps it nice to do. It always also keeps it dynamic. So you can always choose to do different things. Is it still possible to see shooting stars? Yes, Tessa, because the peak of the Perseid meteor shower was this weekend, and on the peak you can really see, like, that's the period from midnight till morning. You can see like up to 50 to 100 shooting stars in 1 hour. So that's super excessive, but still the Earth is still moving through like the meteor. I don't know how to call it, like meteor clouds, or like there are still little rocks in space, and Earth is moving like close to those rocks. And I think the rate until at least the end of August is about 5 to 6 meteors, like shooting stars, per hour. So when we have a clear night, and when you have a clear night in August in the northern hemisphere, just look at the night sky. Just try to look for half an hour or an hour, and you're very likely to spot a shooting star. And you're also very likely to spot all kinds of satellites that are moving across the night sky. I'm not so happy with those, but like artificial satellites, communication satellites, GPS satellites. A lot of them, you can see them moving through the night sky. But I should not complain, because I'm streaming on YouTube here, and it's probably also because of that broad communication network that you can see Saturn. So anyway, pros and cons. Am I showing you Saturn? Yeah, I'm showing you Saturn. So right now it's about the best, like Saturn is now high up in the sky at midnight, like it's almost in the south. And this is actually, should be the best time to image Saturn. Of course, like I said before, it depends on a lot of factors. It depends on whether or not there are clouds in the sky, the seeing conditions. You can see, you see the Saturn sometimes blurs and then it becomes a little bit sharper again and then it blurs again. Well, that's the turbulence in the air. I cannot do anything about that. So, but they generally, when planets are higher up in the night sky, they become easier to spot and to see and to photograph, because you need to shoot through less air. That's basically what's it. So the higher stars and like objects are in the night sky, the less air there is between you and that object. So then you have less of a chance to see the kind of turbulence you are seeing right now. The wobbling of the planets and the twinkling of the stars. Of course, these stars do not twinkle themselves. It's because of the turbulence in the atmosphere. Anyway. Does Starlink affect DSO imaging? Yes and no. I mean, definitely if you look at individual pictures, so I take long exposure pictures, sometimes 3 to 5 minute pictures, or a picture of one object. And then definitely I have had several pictures, like maybe 10 or maybe even 20% of my pictures nowadays, they show either a plane moving through the field of view, but also Starlink satellites or other communication satellites. And of course, when you take a long exposure picture, you will simply see these bright streaks. Or in the case of a plane, you can see like the plane has these red and green lights that flicker on and off, like on, off, on, off. Then you see a dot, and then like on the path of the plane, you see like a couple of centimeters or inches later, you see another dot and another dot and another dot. But the good news is that in deep sky astrophotography, you take many, many pictures, sometimes 30, 40 or 50 long exposure pictures, and you stack all of these pictures together. And nowadays we have some modern technology and some algorithms that can actually just reject or just some basic software, actually stacking software that can take into account, like it's going to look across those pictures, and it can like leave out any kind of inconsistencies between those pictures. So if there is a satellite in one picture and a plane on another picture, but it's not on most of the pictures, it will recognize it as like an outlier, and then it will, in the stacking process, it will not include, like the final image will then not include that one plane or that satellite that moved across your image. So yes and no. It's a complicated answer. Frame rate filters. Courtney, you're an expert. My frame rate is 60 right now, but yeah, of course I can play around with it. I left my gain at 275, and my exposure is 15 milliseconds at the moment. So I'm getting 65 frames per second. And in terms of filter, I am not, this is almost naked. I'm using an IR UV cut filter, but not a dispersion filter. Everybody's always asking for that what is it? A dispersion filter, but I don't have them. I don't have that filter. And this is just a color camera, of course. So right, I'm actually thinking about, because the view is not, this is about what we get, but maybe we can do a little, try to get Jupiter in the field of view, but that would take some time for me. Is that wise? Okay. I'll take one more capture. It's not as good as the beginning of this evening. I I don't know why. But still, we have Saturn. Floating in the night sky, actually in space. I always like that when I see this. And by the way, you can still see the rings of Saturn right now. So you see that like they are visible, right? They are like I don't know, but like 10% in an angle. You can see like the surface of those rings, which are actually lots of ice balls together. But anyway, next year Saturn will be like these rings will be like how do you call it? Face on, as they say it, I think. So you will see this little a very small line going out of Saturn, but then the line that goes behind, like the ring that goes behind Saturn, will be in exactly the same spot. So you will only see like this this very thin line next year. So if you want to see the rings and also like the front and the back of the rings, you need to check out Saturn now with your telescope, because next year it will be like only the face-on kind of picture. Some people really like that, but I actually prefer seeing the rings. So let's see, I captured about 7,000 frames. Hi, Helen. Something wrong? Can you see Titan? Yeah, you can definitely see Titan, but Titan is a little bit less bright than Jupiter and also less big. So if you want to see Titan, Helen, you can, here, I will up the exposure time. So half a second, this is 1 second, or 600 milliseconds. So here we have Titan. See it here below Saturn clearly. This is the moon Titan, one of the biggest moons in the solar system. And let's see, we can see some other moons as well. Oh, so if we go to the right instead of the left. So here, can you see them? So here's a moon, and they are kind of, here's actually a moon in the back, I think, even. So super nice to see that, eh? So when we limit the exposure time, we only see the planet again. Let's go to 17-ish. Yeah. I do like the view at the moment. Whoa. Does anybody know the rotation time of Saturn? Is it like rotating every 20 hours around its axis? Saturn rotation period. Also 10 hours. It's about the same as Jupiter. So these gas planets, they rotate around their own axis in about 10 hours. So that's twice as fast, more than twice as fast as the rotation of the Earth. Interesting. But we do have some clouds, unfortunately, a little bit of a haze in the sky. Yeah, I just went upstairs and I saw Jupiter was moving above the tree line that I have. So could attempt to get Jupiter in the field of view. Actually, Saturn is now at its highest point in the sky, so I was hoping for maybe like very clear skies. I only need a couple of minutes, but as you can see, it's not perfect. Saturn is wobbling a lot. I have seen worse actually, so like there's not a lot of wind right now, so that's good. But still, we have a lot of, especially clouds in the air. Yeah, they're of course not clouds because you wouldn't see Saturn, but there are a little bit of like these haze hanging in front of Saturn that's, I think, enlarges the wobbling. And also I saw that Saturn is slowly moving above the roof of my neighbors, and that I think it has been sunny all day. So when that roof is still hot, it also creates some turbulence. Uranus is 17, Neptune is 18. Oh, the rotation times. Yeah. So that's great. So still faster than Earth. Okay, one more capture. So with planetary imaging, it's all you just have to be lucky for 1 or 2 minutes, and then you end up with a good picture. That's also the fun, actually. So you just check it and you hope for the best. Yeah, I don't know. I think I have like 20 captures now. Dione and Rhea. Thanks, Nathan. So yeah, I think Saturn there's always this competition between Saturn and Jupiter about which planet has the most moons. But it was Jupiter for a while, but now I think they recently, or it was the other way around, but anyway, they are still discovering tiny new little moons around both planets. So sometimes Jupiter is the planet with the largest number of moons, but then Saturn takes the lead again, and it depends a lot on the year. You have to keep that up to date. You have to, but I can check it. Like, which planet has most moons? Saturn has regained its crown as the planet with the most moons, but that was written on May 2023 in The Guardian. Just months after being overtaken by its fellow gas giant Jupiter, the leapfrog comes after the discovery of 62 new moons of Saturn, bringing the official total to 145. So apparently Saturn has the most moons now, but what is happening is that, of course, our observation techniques are getting better and better, and people discover all those tiny rocks circling around Saturn and Jupiter because they have this huge gravity well, and it attracts a lot of little tiny moons and rocks. And so they are still discovering new rocks and moons orbiting around. I think a moon is a moon when it is completely like round. It does not have any kind of strange features like in an asteroid. It needs to be a spheroid, I guess. But yeah. Anyway. Now, Tessa, it's now Saturn, apparently. At least according to The Guardian, 145 moons. I can see some of them. So I need to do a little trick if you want to go to Jupiter. Because it's a bit tricky. Let me check. I need this program. I need to disconnect here. All right. Let me first give you an overview of the planets here, or the Saturn and the moons. That will make it easier for me. So this is 3000 by 2000 pixels. You see how tiny the planet is actually, yeah? 1 second. So here are some of its moons. Okay, let me try to do this trick. I disconnect here. Then Saturn will start to drift probably. Oh, not even, okay. And then I need to reconnect here. And immediately start tracking. Okay. That went better than expected. Okay. So, yeah, we can try. Are you ready for? Let's do a little Jupiter. Let me first check if it's actually out there. I'll just go outside to check. Oh. Yeah, right. I think I see Jupiter. Okay, let's try to slew to Jupiter. Tin, tin, tin. Let's go to Stellarium. Pling. Okay. Here we go. Let's see if it responds with this laptop. Okay, click here. First go to our friend Jupiter here. Search. So I'm using Stellarium. Stellarium, you can download it for free, and it gives you this nice Stellarium. You can just basically see. Let me zoom out here. So here we have Jupiter, so that's in the program. Oh, you can't see it. Can you see it? You can, I think. Yeah. Let me try to zoom out. Is it like F? Oh shit. I can't. This laptop doesn't have. Should I just press minus? Nope. Oh, I did something wrong. All right. Anyway, let me just try to slew here. Is this now the actual time? I hope so. Slew. Okay, let's see what we get. Let's see if the telescope is actually moving. I don't see a lot. 3-second pictures. Let's see if that works. Oh yeah, it's still slewing, I think. Oh, it should be focused on Jupiter now. Current object.
Can I zoom? How do I zoom out? My page down was it? I think. Oh no. Oh, here we go. Ching 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 ching. Is this actually? Anyway. Okay, Jupiter in the east. But we are not seeing anything. So let me move around a little bit and hopefully we will check it. Otherwise I have to go upstairs. Something happened. Is that a moon? Hopefully. Why are you not tracking? Okay. Let's see. So could be a moon. It's pretty bright. And then still, can we spot Jupiter? I don't see anything here. Oh! Yeah, is it a star or Jupiter? Think it was a star. Here's that thing again. Okay. Yep. I think I have to go upstairs now. So I can calibrate my telescope. I think we're close though. I'm going to check out my telescope upstairs to get it in the field of view. Oh, I was afraid of that. It's not tracking anymore. Right. So it was moving. So did you see Jupiter when I was gone? Maybe. Let's see. I think this is definitely one of the moons. Let's see. I'm actually closer now. More moons. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go, I think. So that took a while. Because these planetary... Oh. Now let me first finish the job. Here we have Jupiter. Let's go east a bit. Nope. Let's go west a bit. And let's reduce the exposure time here. So we can get the look. Yep, okay. It makes it easier. I think we need to go up here. So let's put it in the center. Here we see the 4 Galilean moons. Pressing all the wrong buttons. Oh yeah, here we go. West, 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 west. So 1, 2, 3, 4 moons. That's of course Ganymede, Callisto, Europa and Io. I'm pretty sure that Io and Europa are here on the right. And Callisto and Ganymede are a little bit further away on the left. You can also check out which one is which. So okay, let's zoom in a little bit. Let's try to get some surface details. Alright. Alright, alright. I see something. Oh no! That was a very short viewing. It just went behind a cloud. I hope it's not for long. Oh, Jupiter, please. Ah, here we go, here we go. Oh, it's exciting. It's gone. No. What did I do? It looked bright. Ay, ay, ay. No. I'm hoping we will get the view back. There's definitely a cloud now in front of Jupiter. That's always a bit tricky when you switch targets. Ah, here we go. Yeah, 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 yeah. The cloud is apparently gone again. Ah, it's very tricky. It's definitely Jupiter. Let's try to put it in the middle. Oh, oh, oh. Clouds are gone. Very large moon. Oh, clouds are back. Oh yeah, this is of course the kind of thing you don't want. Yep. Oh. Yeah, Tessa. Cloudy skies. I just saw Jupiter, but then it disappeared. I'm going to wait for a couple of minutes. Hopefully it will come back. Here we go. Nope. Yep. Okay, okay. Let's down the 2-minute exposures. Here we have Jupiter. You can clearly see the clouds. Woo, woo, woo. And bye-bye. You did see the the major cloud bands. Like 2 seconds. Well, welcome to planetary imaging in the Netherlands. Ah, here we go again. And it's gone. Okay. Greetings from cloudy Toronto, Philip. Yeah, so we are not the only one. I'm not the only one who is experiencing clouds. Let's the game. All right. Okay, it's wobbling, but it's there. Here we have Jupiter. Whoa, a little bit shaky. Well, let's hope these clouds go away. Can you see it actually? Yeah, you can. Okay. Let's put this away. Nathan, could you recommend some budget astrophotography telescopes? It depends a little bit on what you want to do, Nathan. So, do you primarily think about looking at the planets? And maybe you want just to observe planets, or you want also to take pictures of planets, and or do you also want to engage in deep sky imaging, that kind of stuff? But Nathan, if you want to get into a discussion or like a conversation, you can send me an email. It is it on my, I think in the notes of this, let's see, did I put some description there? I think so. So when you click on the description, you will find my website and the contact form. So you can always ask me anything related to astrophotography. When you go to astroforumspace.com, there's a contact form there, so we can get in touch. Or you just leave a comment here in the comment section. Oh, let's see. But yeah, there are so many choices you need to make when you want to decide on a telescope. It's like the some of the stuff I said, like you have different telescopes for solar system imaging, basically planetary imaging, and lunar imaging. Lunar imaging can be done with all kinds of telescopes. Yeah, deep sky astrophotography is a completely different animal. And then yeah, you have different. You can even image the sun if you want. Oh, let's see. Guys, I'm sorry. I think oh, here we go. Here are the two moons. These are Io and Europa, probably. You see how shaky it is. There's just this cloud. I think Jupiter is hanging on it's on the edge of a cloud, and then sometimes it moves in front, and then it's visible again. New Brunswick. Where's that? Is that the US? I was looking forward to do. I did have good views of Saturn, relatively good views at the beginning of the stream. Oh, here we go. It's so. How do you say this? Dynamic. So I need to constantly adjust the brightness to get a view, and that is, you hope for some maybe like 10 or 20 minutes of clear sky, so you can actually do some observing and imaging. And they predicted some nice weather tonight, but you can see what happens. I'm not giving up though. I think I will give it at least 15 more minutes, maybe 10. Just described. Courtney. Yeah, people, if you want to subscribe, by all means. So, but I would especially invite you to subscribe if you like astrophotography. So taking pictures of objects in space. If you like that, definitely subscribe. Or if you want to receive some regular updates on what kind of objects you can observe, then definitely subscribe. So then I'm talking about meteor showers, planets that are high up in the night sky, moons, supermoons, full moons, comets, and yeah, of course, I also talk a lot about deep sky astrophotography, as we call it. And sometimes I also image the sun. So if you want to learn more about those kind of things, you're welcome to subscribe. Let's see. Sorry guys. So you see it? Can we have like 1 minute? Nope, I guess not. I have to take care because it was almost outside the field of view. So guys, I'm trying. I just flew to Jupiter, and I'm attempting to give you a good look, like a nice look of the planet. But there's a cloud in front, definitely. You can see it. The challenges of astrophotography here. Any questions? So actually, the best time to actually observe and image Jupiter is still to come, because I think Jupiter will be closest to Earth in the end of November, beginning of December. So plenty of time to check out Jupiter if tonight isn't the night. Ja. Nee. Oh yeah, I'm still connected to this. Yeah. Okay, we should move it a little bit to the right. I'm just hoping for a clear patch. I don't think we are seeing the red spot. That's unfortunate. I think it's on the other side of the planet at the moment. But you do see these two brownish major cloud bands. Of course, Jupiter is a gas giant. And there are these permanent storms on Jupiter, which you can see in different colors. Yeah, Nathan, that's Saturn. Yeah, Saturn reaches opposition at the end of the month, so that's why I was actually looking at Saturn. And there it is, isn't? It's like a casino. Oh, it's actually quite spectacular with the clouds. Yeah, this is nice. Let's see. Yeah. Every time when I want to adjust like the brightness or the gain or the exposure, it's like the cloud is doing it for me. It's a little bit tricky still. How's life with the AM5? Actually, I'm back to the EQ6R Pro for tonight. But it has a good reason, because the AM5 I'm using, I permanently have this 480 millimeter focal length telescope, the 8480 apochromatic telescope with with a filter wheel and camera attached. So that's super nice. And I also have tried out the AM5 with the ASI Air. And yeah, you have to get into the functionality of the ASI Air, but it's a super nice combination. So what I really like about it is that I can lift up the entire set. It's just a couple of kilos. Or pounds, you would say, if you're from the US. So you can easily take it, carry it outside, and put it anywhere you like. And I also have this like this battery that I can use that to actually power the ASI Air and the AM5. You just connect it and use the ASI Air to engage in some deep sky imaging, and it's amazing. It just gives you a lot of flexibility. So I'm happy with that combination. I didn't actually try out the HAM27, so I wouldn't. That's an Ioptron, right? That's a hybrid equatorial mount. I think one of the differences is that the HAM27 still is a part, like I think one drive is a harmonic drive, and the other one is still like a belt drive. I think that's the main difference. The AM5 is a fully harmonic drive, which doesn't mean that it is more accurate in tracking in any way. I mean, the EQ6R Pro that I am using right now is a little bit more accurate in tracking, especially in combination with auto guiding, as compared to the ZWO AM5. It's like 0.2 difference, I think, something like that, on average. Ooh. Oh, please. Do you like this? Like the cloud thing? Probably not. Oh. So there is this annular solar eclipse coming up in the US, right? In October. It's also something to keep in mind if you're from there. Yeah, Tesla 3M. I was thinking the same thing. Good night and thanks for joining. And I'm just trying to. I just want to get like one video of Jupiter. I'm just waiting for that one break in the clouds. Oh, it's gone again. That's what you get when you switch targets. Oh, here. Are we going to... So if I would have a dark picture for minutes, then I would just stop broadcasting. But now I'm still hopeful. That it's gone again. Yeah, so guys, I did some reviews on the AM5. You can find it on the channel. And in general, I think harmonic drive mounts are, of course, now the new alternative to the classic equatorial mount. So actually, I think they both have pros and cons. Of course, the obvious pros of using a harmonic drive mount is the weight, and you don't necessarily need to balance your mount with counterweights. So that's also nice. But that being said, so it is more you're more mobile. You have a lightweight mount or a lighter mount. You can carry it around with you, so that's all nice. And but it doesn't necessarily provide you with the best quality tracking. I mean, it is good. It's below 1 arc second for the AM5 when I'm using PhD2 guiding. So that's definitely enough to do some deep sky imaging using a telescope with like a 500 millimeter focal length. But I would hesitate to put like, yeah. So for instance, with the Edge HD 8-inch, I can also go zoom in to 1500 millimeters of focal length. using a 0.7 reducer and a planetary camera. And then I think I still would prefer the EQ6R Pro, although the weight is there. It takes me more time and effort to set up, but yeah, in the end, it will give me a very accurate tracking. And the AM5, I think maybe on a good night when there's not a lot of wind, then I have achieved like 0.4, 0.5 tracking accuracy, which would be enough also for a 1500 millimeter focal length telescope. But I would say maybe up to 900 millimeters focal length, I would definitely use the ZWO AM5. But if you are going to image with a very long focal length beyond 1000, I would still use the EQ6R Pro, I think. Anyway, that's only for people who are interested in harmonic drive mounts. So here, I think finally it cleared up. A little bit at least. Let's put the planet in the center. Where am I? Here. Go back. Yeah, it's a little bit hazy, but still you can see the cloud bands here. It's a bit tricky. Okay, I'm going to get this one video, so at least I have something. So here we go. AM5, how much weight? I think it's up to 20 kilos, right? Like 18 kilos is the maximum payload capacity. And I think it's also a bit different from equatorial mounts. So, yeah. I don't know. I have put my Edge HD 8-inch on there. That's about 6 or 7 kilos with all the tracking gear necessary. And I did try to do some planetary imaging with the AM5 as well. And I think I've put up to 10 to 12 kilograms on that AM5, and that wasn't an issue in terms of tracking. But you do need to take into account that you will be getting maybe the best of circumstances 0.5 and to sometimes 1, or even at some cases a little bit beyond 1 if the weather conditions are bad. But anyway, an off-axis guider, maybe. I don't know. The guiding the guiding accuracy could be a little bit related to the focal length used. But on the other hand, I have these kind of cameras. The planetary cameras we use now also for auto guiding. These have very sensitive sensors. Like the pixel size is super. It's like 2 to 3 microns, the pixel size. So that already provides fairly good quality guiding, even when you're using like a shorter focal length guide scope. But definitely, I mean, off-axis guiding would give you a more zoomed in view of the star you're tracking. So maybe it responds faster to like small changes in the position of that star. Could be. Anyway, guys, it is still flickering on and off Jupiter. So, yeah. Guys, what is this? What do you think? This is like, it's okay. the view. So I'm looking for that one perfect view. I don't think it's coming. Oh, and there's another cloud again. Okay, I think I will. I think I will finish. Shall I wait? Nah, I think this is about it. Let me check the cloud radar once again. Cloud radar 3 hours ahead. Let me check it quickly. Is it getting worse? Is it getting better? Yeah, I don't see a lot on these images. Infrared maybe. Let me check. Yeah, it's still it stays this way. So I don't see any a particular clear patch. It's all haze, like these high hanging clouds, unfortunately. So guys, if I will finish the stream, but I would like to thank you for joining, and thanks for all the positive shout outs you did. And just again, this was just a stream, like unplanned stream, because I just set up my planetary imaging scope for the first time. And again, after being back from holiday in Czech Republic and Slovakia. So this is the Netherlands, by the way, for those of you who just tuned in. And yeah, I'm going to check if the next couple of days I will be able to get good views of Saturn and Jupiter, and maybe also the moon a little bit later on. I think at the end of August we have a super moon, so hopefully I have some clear skies, and yeah, I can do some live broadcasting. And if not, I will of course continue to put new content, new videos about astrophotography on the channel. So anyway, if you want to subscribe to that, you're welcome to do so. I highly appreciate that, and I hope you have a good day or a good evening or a good morning, depending on where you are. And I see you around. And still I'm hoping for a good view, but no. So I'm going to quit now. Okay, hey, thanks so much for joining, and yeah, see you in the next video, or see you in the next live stream. Take care.